Welcome back to the news at 10. Bishops of the Regional Episcopal Conference of West Africa at a meeting in Abuja have appealed to government at all levels not to go against the people's rights to freedom of worship. The Apostolic Nuncio of the conference, Bishop Augustine Kasuja, says people are being persecuted under the guise of culture and there is an urgent need to reverse the trend. The Catholic Archbishop of Nigeria, John Cardinal Onayekon, who responded to questions from journalists at the occasion, advised the government of Kaduna State to promote the peaceful coexistence of all persons resident in the state. Let's take a look at some business news for the day. Here's Anne Waudo.
Hello, welcome to Business News. Top-tier lender First Bank is encouraging entrepreneurs to up their game in order to secure access to bank credit lines. During the EDC First Bank breakfast session at the Lagos Business School today, key executives of the financial institution examined the best options for investments amid the challenging business environment.
At a time when banks' non-performing loans are crossing higher thresholds, lending to the SMEs is becoming challenging. On this note, First Bank has decided to improve the entrepreneurship knowledge of SMEs through the bank's periodic program, The Economy and You.
Across sectors, you could be supplying yourselves because you see, invariably you supply the big person who supplies at the top across sectors and you're caught out of that chain. The biggest opportunities that the disruptions we face in the economy today present us with is an invitation to take another look at our business models.
The latest economic policy decisions of government take the center stage. With questions from participants, First Bank's Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Gbenga Shobo, shares tips with the entrepreneurs on how government impacts their businesses.
We're hoping with the swap transaction which they've done with China that it will improve foreign exchange liquidity, and that means we'll have maybe more foreign exchange available for the economy to use. So as that happens and we have and things get better, of course we as bankers will reduce our acceptance criteria.
But why are these entrepreneurs endeared to First Bank?
We found out that a lot of them fail because there's just not enough capacity. And when I'm talking of financing here, I'm talking of just knowledge. So we do a lot of capacity building with the various SMEs.
They get in touch based on the contacts that we have established, even at fora like this. They come and then we help them out on whatever it is that they're doing. So we've seen a lot of progress. We've seen a lot of mileage from this kind of program, and that's why we encourage that we do it.
With over 540,000 SME customers and 12 billion naira worth of loans disbursed, First Bank hopes to build world-class entrepreneurs with more capacity building sessions.
Sterling Bank PLC has held its 54th annual general meeting in Lagos. The bank recorded a profit of over 10 billion naira for the 2015 financial year.
May I now please most respectfully call.
The meeting is declared opened by the chairman of Sterling Bank, Mr. Aswe Ighodalo, as he introduces members of the board. Sterling Bank has shown resilience despite the country's challenging operating environment, especially during the year ended 31st December 2015. Gross earnings grew by over 6% to 110.194 billion naira, while its profits grew by 14.3% to 10.3 billion naira.
There are several reasons for doing so well. The most important thing is to have a strategy, and you must be able to execute your strategy. But that execution can only take place meaningfully if you have the right people doing the right job. I think we painstakingly selected those who work for us. They are passionate about the job. They go the extra mile to ensure that we deliver on our promises.
Sterling Bank plans to continue to do more to increase profitability.
If your customers succeed, then you will succeed as a bank. If your customers are struggling, there is no way you can ever make it as a bank. So we work with our customers, hence the one customer bank concept. Every customer is unique. His needs are different, and we ensure we deal with them based on their needs and their uniqueness.
And the declaration of 9 kobo dividends per share to shareholders comes as good news.
One thing that encouraged me today to be happy, they are going to pay the dividend they have declared today into our respective accounts or into our respective addresses. If you mandate your account, you will get the alert today.
We are getting a dividend of 9 kobo, but more importantly, I'm happy with the responsibility of the board. The attendance at board meetings and committee meetings, 5 committees, and the board 100%.
Sterling Bank has won various awards for its excellent performance in Nigeria's financial industry. It is positioned to perform better in years ahead with the aim of giving back to shareholders as well as contributing to the economy.
Crude prices rose nearly 4% today as a strike action by oil workers in Kuwait nearly halved crude production from the OPEC member, while thousands of Kuwaiti oil workers downed tools for a third day today to protest against planned public sector pay reforms, thereby cutting the country's crude output to 1.5 million barrels per day. The global benchmark Brent crude futures were up $1.35 or about 3.2% to $44.26 a barrel, off a session peak of $43.89 a barrel. However, analysts have said that Kuwait's disruption may be brief, as investors are expected to focus again on the market's oversupply after major oil exporters last Sunday failed to agree to freeze output and avoid worsening market glut. Tuesday's trading session on the local bourse ended in the green as the all-share index rebounded, reversing Monday's loss. Here is Temple Ashaju with more.
Let's bring you up to speed with the numbers from the trading floor for today. Key indicators of the local stock market ended in positive territory as the all-share index climbed 0.13% to end Tuesday's session at 24,659.17. Market capitalization stood at 8.48 trillion naira. Total volume traded appreciated to 228.90 million shares valued at 1.44 billion naira and exchanged in 3,239 deals. Bank stocks dominated on the volume chart as seen in the shares of UBA Group, GT Bank and Zenith Bank. Market breadth turned positive as 22 gainers outweighed 16 decliners. But top on the gainers list was EcoBank Transnational Incorporated with 5%, and Eternal Oil as well as Tiger Brands came with an increase of 4.94% and 4.78% respectively. UACN, Interlinked Technology and Diamond Bank all posted losses less than 5% each. And that's the stock market report for today. I'm Temple Ashaju.
Oh, thanks a lot, Temple. It was green all the way for major stock markets around the world today, except, of course, for U.S. technology stock index, the Nasdaq. Let's take a look at some of the figures. It's a wrap in business news tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwawado. The rest of the news at 10 continues now with Ijoma.
Experts in information and communication technology in Africa are in Abuja to discuss opportunities in the technology sector to ensure transformation, development and economic growth. Participants at the Innovation Africa Digital Summit say challenges across the continent, including insecurity, poverty and unemployment, can be eliminated through digital technology.
This 14th edition of the Innovation Africa Digital Summit, holding in Nigeria for the first time, has one major focus: how to reduce organic growth in Africa by finding effective ways to harness the continent's digital growth. Key players in information and communication technology from over 30 countries on the African continent gathered here are convinced that the dwindling oil prices need not affect Africa, especially with the many opportunities that digital transformation presents.
More recently, studies on socioeconomic development show that ICT is actually a necessary and required ingredient for development. The question is, however, how do we as policymakers, regulators, service providers, solution providers leverage investments in ICT to innovate and induce organic growth in Africa?
We're entering a world where cars will drive themselves, where drones will deliver groceries to your doorstep, where contact lenses will control the blood sugar level in your body. These are all examples that have one thing in common, which is they are defined by software. And they are central to what we believe is a digital transformation unprecedented.
But for Africa to take full advantage of the available opportunities, government and indeed the private sector must commit appropriate investment in the digital and communication sector.
Not just about the government's play, but it's also about international, because international investment is important for the vital growth of ICT in Africa. Now, if you look at international companies today, they have hesitancy in going into certain African countries because of security, because of return of investment. And I think our events showcase a perception in terms of ideology about what's actually happening in these countries.
More than oil and gas or any other sectors, the information and communication technology sector, when appropriately channeled and nurtured, can employ millions of Africans, at least 40 million in Nigeria, according to key players. These experts on digital technology say it is high time Africa takes charge of its technological advancement. Omelogo Nadi, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Channel's National Kids Cup Lagos Preliminaries recalls 40 goals in day one, with qualifiers emerging for round 2. And that's on sports. Just stay with us.